Fuzzy there, Lee.
Okay, Robins fans, welcome back. Should be Sunday now. You've just hopefully seen us lift the 2012 Elite League Riders Elite League Championship at Paul. Yesterday we had a great catch up after the first leg with Simon and Roscoe, and yeah, we're going to talk about the pivotal meeting, which was the one away. And Alun, I don't think we touched on it yesterday that it was wet, but I think the only place to start is the fact that they didn't have Darcy. When did you find out that they weren't going to have Darcy in that second leg?
Probably I heard rumours filtering through the night before, and I just thought at the time there's a bit of propaganda going on,
right?
And the stories that were rumbling around and that. So yeah. It was that, and then when I heard that he wasn't going to make it, it was certainly it's a sad thing to say, but it obviously gave us a boost really because of how good he was.
Yeah, it most definitely would have played into our hands, Simon. Most definitely.
Oh, just going back to how good he was. When you watching these two meetings, just from a Swindon track that perhaps hadn't really given us a level of racing that we've been used to before, for whatever reason. That first home meeting, the amount of passing in it, and Darcy Ward was always in the thick of it, just unbelievable. So obviously,
I think one of the ones that sticks to me that he made lines that nobody else could pull off. I remember he pulled a turn off, came off the first and second corner and went right down the white line on the inside of the back straight, straight line into the pit corner and just stuck it round the pole. And I've never, in all the years from Brigo, Kilby, Ashby was always class going in the third and fourth bend. I've never seen anybody pull off a ride of going down the inside line on the back straight at Swindon and making it stick.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, crazy. But again, I don't think at that time Bomber was no slouch at all. And in those type of conditions where it's wet, it's boggy, it's muddy, no one fancies it. Bomber's your man, wasn't he? Really. So he was an adequate replacement to a point.
Yeah, and I think the job that we had to do wasn't any different.
Yeah.
And that's really what Roscoe was saying. The job, whether it be Bomber, whether it be Darcy or whatever, we've still got to go and do the same job.
Yeah.
And at the time, I don't remember thinking, I guess it was a bit of a bonus, but I don't remember thinking it at the time because I was just too busy thinking about the job that we got to do.
Right, 100% right. I think that was a mental. I don't think, after the euphoria of hearing that he wasn't riding, I think everybody then just forgot it. We're here. This is the job we got to do. We got 7 riders in front of us. Let's get on with it. And I don't think it really anybody thought, oh well, it's going to be any easier because Darcy's not there.
No, and they made other team changes as well. So whereas we went from there to there the same, they went from there to there, and they were a bit more disjointed, and they didn't have the chemistry that we had. So, from a fan's perspective, as I was back then, I just thought this is ours. This is ours. I just had that whole feeling around it.
And you talk about that chemistry again, Kilby. I remember driving there, and we had to go there a few times, didn't we, because of the rain-offs.
Yeah.
But hands on the. It's the norm now, these group WhatsApps and stuff. But Hansy was on that. The group chat was buzzing. All the lads were having a bit of banter on the drive down. We were in good spirits. Yes, we had an 18-point lead that was narrowed down to 7, but we were feeling good about it. So that's testament to the environment that Alan and Hans and the rest of the boys we created, and we were just excited about getting it on.
Yeah, and as a collective group of riders, it's different for Al because he grew up there. But as a collective group, did you get really how long this had been for the fans and the club? Because honestly, I can't tell you what it was like growing up supporting Swindon.
Well, I felt very, very much at home at Swindon. I loved the 4 seasons that I had there. I really did feel like very much a part of the club. I had a great engagement with the fans, with the management, with the people around there. So I understood that and bought into it. And for me personally, it was one of the only things in terms of club competitions that I'd not won. You know, you could go down in the, you know, Youth Development League, Conference League, Premier League, the cups, the fours, the pairs, that sort of thing I'd done and won. And then this golden carrot that was getting dangled.
Getting all emotionally, and how I settle down a bit and getting all emotional.
Not again.
Yeah, again, I'm crying again.
But that, you know, so I'd 100% bought into that. And going back to what we were saying yesterday, before the first leg, I really felt like I owed the fans and Alan, I really felt like I owed them something, because I'd felt at times that I'd let them down. But that was my big chance to really go and shine and be part of something really, really special.
Yeah. Okay, so you've just been pushed out for Heat 1. What's going through your mind?
Well, firstly, what am I doing out in Heat 1? I was number 4 last week.
Good old Alan, moving his ways again.
Yeah, but again, I believed I'd got a good draw in terms of the gate positions that I'd got. Heat 1, gate 1, track a little bit wet.
Bomber trapped you, if I remember rightly, didn't he?
Sorry?
I said, can I mention this? Bomber actually trapped you. We don't see that very often.
He did. So I'd gone from winning the Bob Kilby Trophy 3 seasons earlier to getting trapped by Bomber. No. Is that you, Kil?
Not me.
So yeah, Heat 1, gate 1. Didn't make a great start, but it wasn't a poor one either. And when we'd been around on track walk and they'd got the sawdust out and everything, there was a line right on the inside, and we sort of earmarked it and said about it. And I just thought, if I can get my front wheel over the grass and go right round there, I've got to be in with a good chance of coming out in front. However you go into the first corner. And it wasn't a bad start, but it wasn't the best, like I said. But I just remember just being.
I'll ping you the photo on Twitter later.
100% committed and just being like, you know, you're just doing what you've got to do, and then to come out in front with the way the track was, you knew if you rode sensibly, you'd have a good chance of staying out there. So I just got my head down, didn't worry about what anybody else was doing, getting filled in, and that, I think, you know, Roscoe said to me before that Heat 1. I just remember him there was no pressure as such from Alan, but it was just like a arm on the shoulder, like, mate, this is yours. Like, go and do your thing. And that was like, you know, you just in the zone then. We were that desperate to get the meeting on. We knew that we were probably, whether it was that meeting or whether that got cancelled in another day, we knew that we were going to have to ride in something that was probably far from ideal. Yeah. So I think collectively as a group of riders, we just thought,
accepted it. We accepted it, didn't we?
That did set the tone, didn't it, Al? That heat set the tone. But that's when we started to believe, hold on a minute, we can do this.
Yeah, I think it was a 4-2 in the first one to us. I think Hans finished third.
Hansi got third,
and he tried his best to get past Chris. And I think then in the next race, I think David Lampart went out and crashed. Yeah, and was absolutely covered from head to foot, wasn't he?
But you're nailing it. And you said it in the chat yesterday, Steady, that, and I think you did, Al, as well. I mean, a lot of the time you go out and you get a great result in Heat 1, and a lot of the time it gets reversed in Heat 2. Seb Alden won both Heat 2s.
Yeah.
And that says a hell of a lot for bringing him in, because again, boom, steady the ship. 3-3 on the back of the 4-2, and we just started to creep away, and they must have already been thinking this isn't for us.
I think what Roscoe had said before the start of the meeting, we knew that we could just roll on with 3 threes.
Yeah.
All day.
Yeah. No last places is what you said.
No last places. We knew there were Paul's Heat leader trio, whether it was Darcy or Chris Harris, it didn't really matter. But their Heat leader trio was particularly strong.
Yeah.
But if we could fill the minor places, then we knew we were going to be there or thereabouts come the end of the meeting. So and that's really what we did. We didn't, like, Hans didn't get he wasn't up in arms about getting a third in Heat 1, because ultimately it didn't matter. It was, I'd won it, Hansy got a third, so that was another couple of points collectively on the total. So we were just going through the motions, really not doing anything silly, just taking each heat as it came. And that's really testament to Roscoe, because that's the mentality that he got us into. He wasn't putting any additional pressure on us, and we were just doing our thing without doing anything stupid.
Yeah, it was no, you said a lot, Al, no last places. I can hear you saying it now. No last places, no last places.
I mean, I think one of the other things that stuck with me as well, I think Nick went out, and I don't know if he was he brought off, was he, or he just fell off? I can't remember exactly. Huh?
First corner, yeah.
Yeah, and he went down, and then he's cut out. Wouldn't could it?
Yeah,
and
the bike was stuck on full gas.
Yeah.
And then he went out on Troy's bike, and I think that kind of, then everybody thinking, oh, he's on Troy's bike, he's not going to be the same. But him and Seb Alden got a 5-1 in the rerun, I think, if I remember rightly.
When you watch it back, as Nick's coming off the track back into the pits,
he's pointing to Seb to go either one way or the other, wasn't he?
Yeah, but his mechanic, when the mechanic was taking Nick's bike back in, Batch comes straight onto the track, and you can kind of see him say to the mechanic, just use my bike. Forget that, just use my bike. And immediately you think, God, teamwork, it's brilliant.
He was great like that year, Roscoe, wasn't he? Troy had been brilliant with me a couple of times, and just said, mate, just get on it, just go and ride it. Been out with me after the meeting a few times. Just he was really, really good.
I think everybody, over the years have criticised Troy, and obviously this year or last season he was absolutely outstanding. But I kind of got to know Troy, the real Troy Batchelor, and the fans saw the petulant Troy Batchelor back in the day. And last year he certainly grew up, hugely. And this is hence why I always kept bringing Troy back, because I knew that there was something I could always get out of Troy. And like you said, he was excellent. It always been excellent every time he's ridden for Swindon. But certainly that night and through the season was always quick to offer his bikes and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's magic. And again, we could see that from fans watching. You could immediately see that was happening. And again, it gave you confidence. And I mean, the meeting, it didn't really ebb and flow. We never lost control of that second leg, really. I mean, they had a 4-2 here and there, but essentially we kept on top of it. I think it was Heat 10 when PK and Nick got a 5-1.
Yeah, I remember it. The funniest thing ever.
14-point lead that gave us. Was that your moment, Al, when you went, oh, hold on a minute?
Do you know what always sticks for me, and it probably won't go down with the Paul fans, is that once we got that 5-1 in Heat 10, I'd never seen a grandstand empty so much in all my life.
Really?
Sad as it is that they walked out on Heat 10, or I remember that night, and looking at the grandstand literally half empty from a packed grandstand a few races before, and I kind of thought, well, they've given up.
Yeah.
So, and imagine what their riders are looking like when they're looking into the grandstand and seeing that.
Yeah.
I know it was tough. I know it was hard, but You know, it was something that I always remember. I don't know if Simon remembers it, but I certainly, the one thing that stuck in my mind, we got that fight, we were close, and then Heat 10, after Heat 10, I just saw the grandstand empty.
Yeah, that was kind of the moment. I mean, when I think it was Peter Kilderman that followed home for the 2 points that gave us that victory. I mean, I don't think you need to explain it really, but that moment for you, Al, having been fan, mascot, rider, manager, promoter, just must have been like nothing else.
Well, it's obviously been very difficult for me because I came in, just like Simon's probably can explain from his perspective as well, but coming from mascot rider to that. And to be honest, like started in 2004, and I kind of hit the crossbar a couple of times, didn't I?
Yeah, a few times.
And just being a Swindonian, being a local, the local press, we get 45 years. That's all I kept hearing. 45 years, 45 years. And I think I just went down on my knees, and I still can picture it now, and just saying, with no disrespect to the old riders of 67, we buried the ghost.
Yeah, well, I think as a club, we had to move on. And again, for me, it's an emotional one because Dad was part of that team. But you just had to win it again to put that behind you. And again, it's nice, Simon, you answered the question when you said you felt what it meant to us. You knew what that meant to us. And it's interesting when you watch the celebrations, and I know there was a lot going on, but you were the first one over to the fans, followed by Hans and then the rest of the boys. So you obviously, you know, that moment for you, again, winning your first title.
It was just amazing. I just remember such a flood of emotions. And I mean, we all know that you're an emotional guy, Roscoe, but to be able to actually see what it means to somebody.
Yeah.
As much as I was feeling it in my own way, and I could see what it meant to the fans. But, you know, Roscoe had been with us from day one, riding every ride with us. Mate, just, you know, those are the feelings that you miss as a retired rider. When you watch the video again, when you relive that and feel those same emotions again, just unbelievable. And it was so good to be part of that.
Yeah, because you touched on it. You won everything else. You won most of the things that were there on offer as a rider. It sits pretty high. Whereabouts does that sit for you in terms of that emotional feeling at that moment that you won that meeting? I
think it's right up there, Kil, because I think when you're younger and these things are happening to you as a younger rider, you just think that's just sort of what happens. You pick up a trophy every now and again, you won a league here and there. And actually, when you get to the top level, elite league, in a team like that, and going close before, and then losing out on it, it really ranks right up at the top, because it was so involving. You know, just felt all those emotions. So it is right up there. It was amazing. It was amazing. Just watching it back over the course of these couple of meetings, it's just been it's very, very special.
And for you, obviously, Al, it was huge for you. We know that. But a couple of years earlier, you'd gone there with Coventry. And that meeting, again, I think we all watched that on Sky. That was incredible when Bomber got run over and he jumped up and ran back. I mean, that was a huge moment for you as a manager to take that title and then to go back and do it again. I mean, you've had two huge highs there, haven't you, really?
Yeah. It was certainly, I think, was a bit of a making of me of leaving Swindon and going to Coventry, and, you know, and getting that monkey off me back. You know, I'd hit, as I said previously, I'd hit the crossbar a couple of, I think 2.7, was it? 2.9, 2.7 and 2.9.
Yeah.
We come very close.
2009, yeah.
And then to go away and then to win it with Coventry in my first season, and certainly in the circumstances, the controversy that was going on at the time.
Yeah.
And like you said, I think for that at the time, as being a Coventry manager, to see Bomber, when Lewis Bridger run over him, and I know we're going off for Swindon a little bit, but if you actually watch the replay after that crash and watch the passing between Chris Holder and Chris Harris, it's the next race.
Yeah,
he just could not believe it, and Bomber pips him on the line.
Yeah.
And again, I know I'm going off Swindon, but just things that flood back to you. But that race was, he got run over by Lewis, but the rerun when Holder passed him, then Harris passed him, and it was just absolutely unbelievable, that race, and he got him on the line. But yeah, I think that what the thing for me was going away and kind of I wouldn't say growing up, but kind of learning a little bit more and getting that monkey off your back, like.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, it's funny, Simon, we caught up the other day on the phone for a little while, and I always, as a fan, I always wanted you to come back because you left Swindon at the end of that season. So, but you never rode at Swindon again.
Never. The grand final were my last laps around the Abbey, so I'm pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think I'd be like, you can't get any lower than that, can you? You're up there, aren't you?
Yeah.
Did you get the chance to come back at all?
I did get a couple of chances. A guest booking. I think it might have been you, Roscoe. I don't know. I got the chance for the guest booking. It was last minute because obviously Sheffield were riding on Thursday, so there was a clash there all the time, which is why I never came back really. And I think Sheffield had been called off early, and there was a chance of doing it. And I just remember thinking it was all a little bit last minute. But the thing that really made my mind up was if I've had my last ride at the Abbey, then I think I probably want to save that and keep it as the playoff final. But it's such a lot of love for the place. Fond memories. Lots of great friends down there still. Somewhere I'll always hold dearly in my heart, and it sits pretty well with me that the last time I rode there was the grand final, and obviously that's never going to change now.
No, and I don't think anybody will ever take that first turn at Poole away. That will always. I don't know who took the photo, but there's that iconic photo of you just hugging the curb, coming underneath, and that is it. That's the photo of the final that everybody remembers. Even though when you watch the meetings back, there was some brilliant racing over the two meetings. I mean, Peter Kilderman, I always remember Peter Kilderman in the Poole leg actually had Carl Fogarty tweeting about him, saying,
"Yes, I remember that.
Unbelievable to watch."
He was all action, wasn't he? I remember the first leg. He did a Tony Ricardson around the air fence at one point, didn't he? And we were all like watching him, like we'd got this. We'd had an 18-point lead, and then it was gradually getting smaller and smaller, and then we've got Peter Kilderman riding under the air fence. Like, just hang on, second's all right.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. Hey guys, this has been awesome. It's great to catch up, recalling their meetings, special meetings. I mean, they're down in our history. That team is a very special one. I won't ask Roscoe the question of which championship team he's had was the stronger. That's another conversation. But I think Simon from us, and then again we're talking to you, but this goes to Hans and Batch and Nick and Peter Kilder, everybody in that team at that time. It was an incredible season, and one that will outlive all of us in terms of the memory of it, because it was just fantastic. So
yeah, absolutely. Just echo that, Kilby. We did that not only as a team, but we did that as a club. Everybody involved that year, fans, management, sponsors, everybody. That was a group collective effort from everybody that brought that title that year, and it was, like I said earlier, very, very special to be part of.
Yeah, fantastic.
I got to say afterwards, the euphoria around the town is something was pretty special. It was kind of like
the dinner and dance was pretty special.
Eh?
The dinner and dance was pretty special.
Oh yeah, I still got that video on my phone. I'll ping it across to you later. You and Tommy up on the stage. But just the the local council, the paper, the radio stations, walking to supermarkets, people coming up to you, and just people coming around wanting photos with a trophy, and because obviously it'd been such a long time, and the euphoria of us winning it was something. Whilst we've done it since, I don't think that first one that we won will ever kind of, will sort of the euphoria for me as a manager. And like I said, just going into town, going shopping, getting stopped by people in Sainsbury's and things like that, and just people, cars, even the postman writing on letters saying congratulations, really enjoyed that last night. And just there was so many things that was going on afterwards, and it was just truly amazing. And well, like Simon said, it certainly is right up there for me. Whilst winning the first league at Coventry, obviously winning for your home club and your hometown and being in the euphoria of it all was just unbelievable, second to none.
Brilliant. Perfect way to finish now. Perfect way to finish. So, gentlemen, it's been an honour to sit and talk to you about that meeting, because, like I say, I was a fan back then, just looking up to you guys and hoping we could do it. So keep well. It's tricky times, as we all know. Keep safe. I'm sure we.
Hey, Kill, before you go, if we do 2017, do you think the Pool fans would think we'd be rubbing it in again?
We might just stick at this one for a bit.
Yeah, we'll stick at this one for a bit.
Hey, gentlemen, awesome. Thank you so much for your time. Big thank you to everyone that's tuned in and watched our little video there. And hopefully we'll try and do a bit more of these over the course of the coming weeks. So thanks a lot, chaps.
Good on you guys.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Guys.
Cheers, boys.